If you're planning a move, you really need to know about one of the most common, but also most misunderstood, fees in the whole industry. It's called a long carry. And trust me, understanding what it is could save you a major headache and a surprisingly big bill.
Have you ever done this? You budget for a move perfectly, you've got all your numbers lined up, only to get that final bill and see a surprise charge you never, ever saw coming. Yeah, it's a frustrating story we've all heard. And there's a good chance that surprise fee had everything to do with the distance between the moving truck and your front door.
So in this explainer, we're going to break it all down. What is this unexpected fee? What does long carry even mean? Why do movers charge for it? How is it calculated? And, this is the most important part, what can you actually do to keep that cost off your bill?
Okay, so let's start with the problem itself. We're talking about that one surprise charge that can totally throw your moving budget way off track. Now, let's be really clear about something. The long carry isn't some kind of scam or a hidden fee that's designed to trick you. Not at all. It's a totally standard industry charge. The real issue is that most of us just don't know it exists until, bam, it suddenly shows up on the final invoice. It's a classic case of a cost hiding in plain sight.
So, let's demystify this thing. What in the world are we actually talking about when we say long carry?
You know, it's actually pretty simple. A long carry is just an extra fee that gets tacked on when the moving crew has to haul your stuff beyond a certain standard distance from their truck to your front door. The key thing to remember here is that it's all about one thing: distance.
And what is that magic distance? Well, it can definitely vary a little from company to company, but the general industry standard is right around 75 feet. To put that in perspective, that's about the length of a tennis court. If the movers have to park any farther away than that, the long carry fee usually kicks in.
Now, it's really important not to get this mixed up with other charges. You might also see something called a stair fee on your bill. Just think of it like this. A long carry fee is for extra horizontal distance, basically a long walk on flat ground. A stair fee is for vertical challenges, lugging things up and down flights of stairs. Two very different problems, and so two different fees.
Okay, but you might be wondering, why does a longer walk cost extra? What's the big deal? Well, let's try to look at it from the moving company's side of things.
The sources we looked at are super clear on this. This isn't just some random charge they pull out of thin air. It's a standard adjustment. You should think of it as fair pay for the very real increase in labor, time, and just the physical strain that comes with having to cover all that extra ground, trip after trip.
And this really shows you the kind of everyday situations that cause it. Think about a massive apartment building with those super long hallways, or a narrow, winding country road where the truck just can't get close. City life is a big one, parking restrictions that force the truck to park a block away. Even gated communities with strict parking rules can create the distance that triggers this fee. At the end of the day, the charge covers real costs. I mean, carrying a heavy sofa 50 feet is one thing, but carrying that same sofa 200 feet, that's a completely different job. It adds a ton of time to the move, it makes the crew way more tired, and it seriously increases the risk of an accident or something getting damaged. That fee makes sure the crew gets compensated for that much tougher work.
So how does this charge actually get calculated? Let's break down how it all adds up on your bill.
So the final cost isn't just a random number. It's usually based on three key things. First, the total weight of everything you're moving. Second, the extra distance they have to carry it. And third, the moving company's specific rate, which is something called their tariff. That tariff is usually a set price, like a certain amount of money per 100 pounds for every 50 feet of extra distance.
And listen, this is the part that really surprises people. Weight is a huge factor. Let's say you and your neighbor are both moving, and the truck has to park 150 feet away from both of your doors. If your stuff weighs 10,000 pounds and theirs only weighs 5,000, your long carry fee is going to be way higher simply because it's a lot more work to move all your things that extra distance. All right, now for the most important part, you are not powerless here. There are absolutely things you can do to avoid or at least shrink this fee down. Here are 3 really simple, actionable steps. First, do everything you possibly can to reserve the closest parking spot. If you're in an apartment, book that loading dock ahead of time. Second, be totally upfront with the moving company. When you're getting your quote, tell them about that long hallway or the narrow street. And third, just ask them. Ask, hey, what's your long carry distance and how do you charge for it? Ultimately, it all boils down to this. Transparency is your absolute best defense against surprise fees. When you communicate clearly with your movers from the very beginning, you're not just helping them out. You're making sure you get the most accurate quote possible, which keeps your moving budget right on track. By understanding what a long carry is, you've just taken a huge step toward a much more predictable move. But it does leave you with a final thought, right? If this super common fee was completely off your radar, what other standard moving costs might be worth looking into before that truck shows up?